Hey, Acers. Good December 12th, well, 11th to you. Good December 11th. Just wanted to pop in and see how you all were doing. I hope you're all doing well. Getting all ready for Christmas. Made your Christmas requests and put Savage Worlds on your list if you don't have it yet. Okay, if your parents can afford to help you with it, or if you can afford to buy it for yourself, whatever way you want to go. They're not my sponsors, but hey, they're awesome. And I love the people there. Shane and everybody that he's gathered together has made a really incredible, good team. Um, yeah, I found out this week that a fantasy taxi is a gelatinous cuber. So there you go. Anyway, I wanted to just check in with you guys and let you know a little bit about the gaming that I got to do this week and to talk about a new game mastering principle. I hope I haven't covered it before. If not, then that's okay. But for those of you who are brand new, welcome to the Ace Role Playing Games channel here on YouTube. I am Mason Emerson. I'm the founder of the club system, and I am really I'm happy to be here with you all and share my love for role-playing gaming and, believe it or not, its life-saving capabilities. So that said, this week was kind of actually, on Tuesday I did have gaming on Tuesday, and that was the standard club gaming. I didn't get to actually game much myself that day, but that's okay because I was consulting and telling more people about Savage Worlds, and I even found a guy. He's really cool. Dan, if you see this, pleasure to meet you. But yeah, this is an opportunity for me to. It was an opportunity for me to get a few more people interested in the system and to see how we can keep spreading it, because really that's a side effect of everything that I'm doing is I'm trying to spread Savage Worlds gaming here in Utah. And I might have a couple other projects in the works that'll help with that as well, but probably can't talk about those yet. Anyway, I did yesterday get to I got to play Dungeons and Dragons with my friends, and I kind of just, I think I was fried. I think I was really tired. Didn't even end up getting bed until like 2 a.m. So ended up going to church at noon instead, but that's okay. That's one of the risks that I take, and I realize that risk. But I don't have any more gaming for any more Saturdays coming up this month. I did, however, sign up for, and 2 of them are listed already, for a couple games, maybe even a few games at BSRCon coming up in January. It's attached to the old Gaming and BS podcast, which was a good podcast. I really like the episodes I listened to. Still haven't listened to the whole back catalog of that, but I do, however, want to just talk for a few minutes about this week's GM tip. And incidentally, I am trying to get to a point where I can do a little editing on these videos, at least to add in titles and things like that. And it's going to say GM tip of the week or something like that. It'll say that in the bottom stuff. So anyway, the GM tip for this week is actually kind of spun from last night's D&D game. My DM there, Evan, I love you. He put in a pair of challenge rating 7 monsters. Now, this actually goes to my theory on challenge ratings, and ultimately, I think challenge rating is stupid. I think, it was nice when they put it in there to try and put in some sort of a balance so that you're not throwing monsters that are too powerful at your players. But take it with a grain of salt. Because here's the thing, is that your characters are going to be doing stupid things anyway. Because the smart thing to do when there's a warren of goblins up in the hills is try and establish your defenses really well and, try and maybe give them a reason to go another direction. That's it. That's the smart thing. But the stupid thing and the adventurous thing to do is to say, we'll go up and take care of those goblins for you. That's great. Now, if you're going to go in the front door, you might have a chance at, facing a few goblins here, a few goblins there. But if you're like, oh, we're going to go in the side of the goblin war and rip off this side of the house and just go in. Yeah, if you run into 100 goblins in there because they're all tightly packed in there or whatever, and it's a big room or there's a lot of goblin babies in there or whatever, you just went in. And this is a place where the world responds to your characters. Now, is it true that sometimes you'll get your murder hobos who can walk into your dungeon that you've carefully and meticulously planned, and they just walk right through everything that you've got planned? Yeah, that happens too. So, my recommendation is to kind of take what Savage Worlds recommends. If they're mowing through your bad guy too quickly, it's okay to nerf a stat. Because they still had a choice as to whether or not to face against your monster. They had a choice. But that's why I don't go in for very much by way of quantum ogering, where the party goes left and your ogre was right. The way to handle that for me is make it so the ogre heard him go left. The ogre's got like some magical listening abilities or something. And so when they go left, instead of going right to go down and meet him, he starts to chase them. Now they got an enemy behind them and they don't know about it. So those are some of the kind of things that you have. And as game masters, we have other tools that we can use to get things to work better. And to make because it is our job as game masters to ratchet up the tension. Because this goes back to what I learned from Aldous Budrus, whom I got to speak to actually before he passed, and he was my uncle's favorite mentor. Aldous Budrus, in his little book, Writing to the Point. And this is where, yes, most of the time there's a lot of things where story writing techniques really don't always go well for role-playing gaming. Because story writing techniques are meant for a case where you, or maybe you and a companion, control all the actions, incomes, and outcomes of the story. You control when that orc is going to attack, or that ogre. You control when he attacks. You control how the heroes turn around and face him bravely, and you control the level of danger they get put into, and then you control the level of danger that it takes to get them out of it. You control all those levels in a story. But role-playing games are not writing a book. There's some cool typewriter apps. If you want to go write a book, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to control every aspect of your story. But as game masters, we don't give stories. We give scenarios. We give events. And the only real story that's happening that we need to be aware of is we need to be able to... We need to be... I ignore my son playing a game. But anyway, but we need to be able to, as we put them into these situations, the closest thing to a story we have is, here's the villain and here's what he has planned, or she has planned. And they might not even know and or care about your heroes until your heroes have stopped them from doing things enough times that it pisses them off, and they're now definitely angry, and they're going to go after those heroes, and they're going to destroy those heroes. But they're not going to do it nicely. No. They're going to do it in the most vicious way possible. A guy who I need to be friends with sometime in the future is a guy named John Wick. And he's not anything associated with the movie, but he's pretty cool anyway. He actually has written some of my favorite role-playing game things that I've ever written, or not written, but read and or played with. Just a second here. I'm going to pause for a moment. Okay, so anyway, my point that I was making is that we can know what the villain's doing. We cannot dictate what the heroes do, but we can give them choices. So The choice I want you to guys consider to make is, how can we make the heroes who have good hearts, almost always, go out and do the thing that we want them to do? Like, there are nefarious things that a villain can do, like kidnapping. That's always kidnap somebody that they care about. And if there's nobody they care about, then kidnap a whole bunch of school children and say, I'll release these kids if you go and get X for me. And, or something like that. Or have a bomb threat. Say, I will tell you where to find the bomb and how to disarm it if you go out and get the thing for me. I mean, there's other things. That's okay. That leads into one more thing here for this video, and that's villain theory. And my villain theory works like this. There is a villain who wants something. They want something badly. And they are willing to go to certain levels to get it. Some villains are untouchable villains. And they do unspeakable things in the name of the fact that they can't be touched. There's a character in a movie. He always does these illegal things and then holds up his card and says diplomatic immunity, saying that he can't be prosecuted because he's got diplomatic immunity and he's here as a visiting dignitary from another country and he's doing all these evil things. Or you get that person who's the mayor and he's doing all these horrible things and you've seen him do them, but you can't prove it. And he's also got the entire town council in his pocket. There's all sorts of things you can do to make the stakes higher for your players. So with those thoughts in mind, I just wanted to hope you are having a great lead up to your Christmas season. And if you don't watch another video till then, Merry Christmas. If not, I'll see you in the next video, which will be next week, 1 week before Christmas. And then I'll probably do one in advance of Christmas, one after Christmas, but I probably won't do one Christmas Day in 2 weeks. But anyway, just remember, I do love you. Somebody out there does love you. And your fellow gamers love you. We all love each other. We don't care what kind of emotional or physical or psychological turmoil you have going on. We don't care. We love you, and we're glad you're there to contribute to the story. Just remember, we all contribute to the story. Each one of us has our part to play, and you are important to it. So keep yourself doing well. Keep yourself as happy as you can be. And remember, life is 50-50 if you have a good one. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's 49-51. And that 49% might be the good emotions. But hey, if you can even get it that far, you're doing well. And it's the full-on acceptance of everyone, no matter who they are. Because ultimately, we're all human beings. We're all brothers and sisters as human beings on this planet. And we can all just love each other and have a great game because we tell stories, and that's what we do. So let's game for good. This is Mason from Ace Role Playing Games, where we achieve, create, and entertain. Reminding you that we're gaming for good, and I'll see you next week. Bye.